All right, we are live with Angie's Angles and my co-host Pete O'Shea.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Here we go. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Angie's Angles. It is 8:30 on Thursday, October the 9th, in the year of my Lord, 2025. Oh, happy days are here again. This is coming from Harold Sanderson. There's a new shape that was made last night. We have a hexagon, we have a pentagon, we have the octagon, and now the Yankees give us season gone.
And maybe
Harold,
probably Aaron Boone gone too.
Yeah, oh, that's Harold. We just said your shape, your Yankee shape addition to the hexagon, pentagon, and octagon. Yankees give us season gone. Us Met fans, we don't have much to hold on to, but that's what we hold on to.
There you go.
Harold's making us interstatal. So tonight's topic is Pete Alonso. Where does he sign? What's going on? Edwin Diaz, same thing. Pete and I were talking offline a little bit, and Pete was nice enough to share that both Edwin Diaz and Pete Alonso have the highest WARs for their positions in terms of baseball stats. Now, Pete, I got to be transparent as we are on Angie's Angles. I am not a WAR guy. WAR, what it's good for? Absolutely nothing in my book.
Yeah, I'm not a big guy either, but when I noticed that both our guys were at the top of that, I was like, wait a minute, those baseball nerds do care about those stats. And that's interesting that our two guys are number one at their position.
No, it's a fair point you bring up. And I wanted to bring up on the Pete Alonso subject matter. Pete Alonso, even after this season, was rated as a sub-defensive first baseman. Now, I disagree. He saved a lot of errors on Vientos, Beatty, Lindor tremendously, scooping those balls out of the dirt. Now, I tried to find Pete a stat on scoop balls, right? But I don't think they keep a stat on that.
I think that's down at Greenwich Village. You got to go down there to get scoop balls.
That's funny, Pete. But but Pete Alonso had an amazing scoop rate season this year, and maybe I'll do that next year. We'll keep track of all the balls he scoops out of the dirt, and we'll do a weekly recap on it. My problem with Pete Alonso, and he best work on this in the offseason, no matter what team he lands with, is he's got to learn how to throw the ball to first base.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a method: underhand, soft lob, fastball down the middle. But you can't mix and match, Pete. You got to learn how to throw the ball.
This is true, but I don't think anybody's really going to be focusing on that right now. They're going to be focusing on the fact that he's probably going to come in third or fourth in the NL MVP race, that he raised his on-base percentage by 40 points, his batting average as well, and that he led the league in RBIs. That's going to get him a huge payday. I am already hearing whispers. You want to hear the new team that is making big whispers about wanting a shot at him? Ready? The Red Sox.
Well, it makes sense. You got the big monster, and then you got a pesky pull down the right field line.
Could you imagine him in that ballpark? He'd hit 70 home runs. Okay.
Yeah. I just want to a little correction. He was second most RBI. Schwarber.
Oh, my bad. Oh, no. In the National League or all?
National. Well, I'm talking about National League. Pete wasn't at the top in both leagues.
Don't correct me during the show, dude. I'll come right through that screen and smack you right in the head. No, just kidding.
We want full transparency on the.
But he led the National League, or he didn't just
second in the National League? Schwarber.
Oh, okay. Oh, who told him he was allowed to do that? All right. Anyways,
I mean, Schwarber hit 50 home runs, right?
Yeah, he did. But anyway, he's going to get a lot of money. What do you think in the end of the day is going to be Pete's numbers? It's going to be a 5-year deal. What's he going to wind up getting? What's the final number?
And our viewers chime in if you will on the guesstimates on Peter Alonso.
What?
Pete,
Yeah, I think.
go ahead.
But no, it's got to be a 5-year deal, right? So at a five,
Yeah, he's gonna look for 7, which
yeah,
will
but
take
he's
him
already
to year
30,
38.
so
Right.
you know.
So maybe you go 5-year with 2-year mutual option, or 6-year deal with the 7th year being a club option and
Uh,
the big parachute buyout, right?
Wow. So what's the total number? I mean, where does it end? It's going to be a bidding war. It's going to go past what he's worth because there's going to be too many teams bidding. If Seattle doesn't get Naylor back, they're going to want him. I've heard whispers of the Dodgers trying to figure something out, okay, where they put Freeman at DH and Otani in the outfield. Everybody's going to want him just to stick it to the Mets, and the Stankies are going to try to do it too. The Mets stole Soto; they're going to try to steal Alonso. Watch.
So Brett Milletta has taught me to look at baseball as a business model and take my heart out of it.
Right.
I can't take the heart out of it. However, it is my humble opinion that no matter the price tag, and I think he's going to pull an Aaron Judge, who was offered more money with San Francisco and stay with his team. I just don't see Pete as I just don't see I think he's got the blood that I have, that we're skanky haters. Okay. And I can't see him going to the Yankees. I just can't see it.
Didn't you think it was odd though that the minute the last game was over, he announced he was opting out already, and he didn't sound pretty
The
happy
question,
about it.
listen,
Yeah.
the question, first of all, you didn't even have to ask the question, but he was asked the question. And he
Right.
answered honestly. No, I'm not signing for $24 million. That's what he would have to sign for. No, I'm not signing for 24. If you're not signing for 24, you're opting out.
So
So
what is the in the end number? What the heck? I can't even imagine what it's going to wind up being. It could be as high as 250. It could be higher.
well, Harold Sanderson is chiming in with 225 mil. And let's go with the 5-year deal. Okay. So let's use that as a barometer. So
Okay.
Harold's got Pete getting 225. West Coast Dave Prince, who, by the way, we want to give a shout out to Angie's Angles family. West Coast is currently in the hospital dealing with some medical issues,
Praying
and
for you, buddy.
he'll make a prayer circle later tonight. But West Coast Dave Prince, Angie's Angles, we're all sending you our love and prayers, my friend. Never ending saga. Kevin Elliott, also known as Kevilytics, is never sniffing $200 million. This is now, Pete, before we go in there and dive into that prediction, Kevin Elliott, Kevilytics,
Mhm.
has been uncanny with his commentary.
Okay.
Uncanny. He'll say blah, blah, blah. He predicted Soto winding up with 40, 30, 30. He predicted the Red Sox coming on. He predicted the Brewers, sorry, Harold, blowing away the Cubbies. All through the season, whatever he said came to fruition for the most part.
Okay.
So and he's pretty dialed in with his numbers. But Kevin, I think I think you're also going, instead with your heart, you're going with your brain in a logical approach. And where I understand that you don't think Pete will get more than 200 million, there's going to be a team out there that's going to pay more than that or offer him more than that. And it'll be up to the Mets to either match it, throw an extra year on the end of it. And let's get back to the heart part. You're Steve Cohen, who alleges, who proclaims, who boasts that he's the biggest Met fan walking the face of the universe, right? You can't let our home run franchise guy go, because Pete Alonso is within the window of 500 home run career.
Correct.
It'll be the first one ever in the Met history. 500 home runs gets Pete Alonso as a first baseman into the Hall of Fame. He's homegrown talent. There's a lot of souvenirs to be sold with the Pete Alonso mantra.
Most definitely. Okay.
So that brings us back to the Brett Milletta business side of baseball, right? You're going to be losing all those promotion nights. You're going to lose all those jersey nights that you could sell. You're going to use, the countdown to 500. As soon as he breaks 400, the countdown begins.
And let's not forget, too, that, again, Diaz is free also. If they sign both of those guys to long-term deals, they also have Nimmo, Soto, Lindor. They're carrying a lot of long-term packages now. That's a lot of deals that don't expire till 2030, dude. That's a
Well,
lot of
with the
big weight.
exception of Soto, who could opt out after 5. So we got 4 more years of Soto under control.
Yeah.
Year 5, again, if he replicates his 40 home run, 100 and something RBI season as he did this year, Pete, and if he does that, and again, if we believe his age, right, he's in line. Again, I wouldn't walk away from a 13-year guaranteed deal by any means, right?
Right.
But if he, I mean, what he had 30 something stolen bases. He almost hit 40 stolen bases.
Yeah, he had
38.
38. But
Right. So go ahead.
no, my point is, though, how many long-term deals are the Mets willing to take on? Okay. And if they're willing to do that, they're going to have to pay a lot of money to Alonso and Diaz at the same time. Well, they're already paying several other guys big money. It's adding up. And you're going to go over your own Cohen line again.
Harold, 268 home runs right now for Pete Alonso. So he's a little more than halfway there. Eric Schuster, thanks for signing on, buddy, but not going to happen. Bauer has been blackballed from baseball. I hope whatever lawsuits he brings, he wins every single one of them. He was railroaded unceremoniously. It was a travesty what happened to Trevor Bauer. Pete, what do you say?
I think that the owners colluded. Whatever happened with him, I don't know. But collusion by the owners is illegal. It's been proven already before. You're not allowed to do that. It's go behind closed doors and all agree not to sign a guy. They got in trouble for this before.
Can you remind me who colluded?
If you remember back in the day, there was a free agent class that all got screwed. The owners
but
colluded.
what owner colluded?
It was Steinbrenner.
Say it. It was not Stanky.
It was the Stankies.
Unbelievable. Mark Brooks, my brother from another. You are making us interstatal. West Coast A Prince agreed. Trevor Bauer should be pitching. He's been exonerated. As a matter of fact, the false claims by the woman she's doing jail time. So, listen, lifestyle choices, we all make them and we all have to live with them. Was he a model citizen in the sex world? Probably not. But doesn't make him guilty that he has fetishes, right? And it was all proven that it was all fabricated in terms of the severity of the allegations. Not criminal worthy, i.e., no charges against the all dropped. The woman that brought the charges against him, and we're digressing a little bit. I don't want to stay on this, but the point of the matter is, Marcell Ozuna is still playing baseball, and he's a 2-time wife beater. I mean, come on now. It kind of goes down the road that the Cleveland Indians had to change their name to the Guardians because some, Indian tribe was upset, but you got the Atlanta Braves doing the chop every freaking ass night. So come on now. The hypocrisy runs deep in Major League Baseball.
But isn't that always been the case? Bauer was already known to be a pain in the neck, high maintenance guy. He was a whiner and a complainer. When you look at, you see, and there that Maguire gets hurt, but this one is not. They like guys that there's definitely a bias, and the guys they like, they go easy on. The guys they don't like, they slam them. There's never been a straight moral compass in the game of baseball, ever,
Or
ever,
any sport for that matter, to be
not
honest with you.
ever.
Right. If
Okay.
you're making money for the sport, they're turning the blind eye, i.e., Otani with the gambling situation.
Kobe Bryant, okay, you tell me he didn't rape that girl? Come on, man. Okay, he definitely
Magic
did.
Johnson betting 100,000 women. I mean, come on.
Okay,
Will Chamberlain, same thing, claims he betted 500,000 girls.
Jordan betting on games, probably. This one doing that.
Jordan had to stop playing basketball and went to play baseball to let it blow over.
Because of a gambling addiction.
Right, correct.
Okay.
And he got his father killed. That's awful.
Absolutely. Right?
That's
so
awful.
It's been, you can go all the way back to Ken Caminiti with the drugs. Everybody else, all these guys who they made out to be saints, but they weren't really, And there's that real selective morality that goes on. The first drug dealers were the owners, dude. They were the ones giving them amphetamines in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s.
Right, absolutely.
And then they turn on the players when the fans go against it,
Right, when it becomes socially unacceptable.
Then all of a sudden now they got the cops. They're the moral police, but they're not when it serves their purpose. Okay, when Strawberry said that he used to take 2 amphetamines every game, and you know that expression, if you played a game without it, they said you played naked that day. Okay, so to stand here and tell us that it's all clean and straight, nobody's playing it straight anymore. They're really not.
It's a sad. Kevin Elliott says Mike Schmidt was on speed daily. Admittedly, I have to preface my comment, and I don't want to go down this road. Slavery was never okay. Never.
No.
Okay. However, during the time, it was allowed, for lack of a better word. It was acceptable and allowed, but never was it okay. I don't agree with it. But you can't be in today's world with the slavery, with the drugs, with the sexual allegations. You can't cherry pick, right, Dave? Pete, you can't cherry pick. You're okay, but you're not okay. And it's either across the board or it's not at all.
And where does the morality come from? I mentioned Caminiti. Do you remember that story? So he wins the MVP that year, and after he dies, they found enough steroids in his liver to kill an elephant. And Mike Greenwell, who came in second place in the MVP voting, I think it was him, actually called Caminiti's widow and asked for the trophy.
Yeah, it's awful. And Greenwell passing today due to thyroid cancer.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I'm sorry I said that today.
Yeah, no, it's
how
fine.
Interesting that I bring him up today. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So West Coast Dave Prince, what did Willie say about greenies? Can you elaborate on that? I'm not aware of that story.
Willie, I think he said that he drank it. He didn't know what it was, and and they were all taking them. I had a friend I worked with who was a catcher in the Braves system back in the day. He said Hank Aaron was taking them. They were all taking them.
That bothers me to an extent. But again, it wasn't illegal.
It was acceptable. It was expected. The owners were giving them to them.
Right.
Okay, and so that's the difference. And then you turn on them when it got harsh. But let's go back to the original topic. What is the number Alonso winds up with, buddy? How much money is it? And do they get both of them back?
I don't know if the Mets are going to be willing to do this. And I'm going to buck Kevin Elliott. I think 250 is your number for Pete. 5 years, 250, 50 million a year. Somebody's going to offer him that money. Somebody.
Yeah.
You had Otani contract. You had the Soto contract. And let me say something. Major League Baseball owners are not hurting for money.
$10 billion industry annually. $10 billion a year.
They're not hurting. And they've got, whether it's the broadcast money coming in, they're saying that Otani's international dollars with jerseys being sold abroad is paying off his contract and then some.
Sure.
So, so this in today's day and age, Pete, with TV media, now the Mets opening day game is going to be on Netflix. You got to have a Netflix account to watch opening day of Major League Baseball for your beloved team. And that's an atrocity.
It sure is. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
But the point is, somebody's going to have $1 to wave in front of you.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Whether it's Netflix or Prime, now that the NFL zone, and we don't talk football much here, but the red zone is now introducing commercials where it was strictly football. Now they're going to have commercials. So, there is no purity anymore. None.
No, and it's only going to get worse as everything goes to a more digital pay-per-view model. Eventually, you're going to have to pay for each individual game because, look, these numbers are going to keep going up. There's no doubt. I agree with you. 250 is the number. He's going to get it. Somebody's going to give it to him. Okay, he will get that kind of numbers. And if they have to get him and Diaz back, you're talking about something about $80 million total between the two of them for 1 year salary. That's pretty crazy to bring that back with all the other money you already got on the books. That's a lot of money, dude. Holy cow.
Well, we all know that. I'll give Steve Cohen the benefit of the doubt that he's a big Met fan. I'm gonna give that to him. But Steve Cohen bought the New York Mets and that property to build the casino, and he's still in the hunt and he's still in the race to get that approved to bring a casino to Flushing. That happens. The Steve Cohen generations of 100 years to come are well taken care of.
Sure. And it gives you all the revenue money you need from outside of baseball to spend on baseball like the good owners really do. They leverage their other businesses to make their baseball team better. And this will be a chance for them to do that long term if he's able to pull that off.
We're never going to see the closest thing that a cap will be in Major League Baseball is the luxury tax. That's their phantom cap, right?
Yeah.
And that really hurts. And this is kind of like a little bit of oxymoron, if you will. Salary cap, luxury tax really affects the lower revenue teams, even though that's bull dinkies because they still got the money. But they're just throwing it into their pocket or to their family. They're not spending it on the team per se.
Correct.
I.e. Oakland A's, Pittsburgh Pirates,
Tampa Bay Rays.
I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Cincinnati make a bid on Alonso. I mean, he'd be a monster in that ballpark as well.
And him and Dela Cruz in the same lineup with a couple other. Wow, that's an up and coming team.
They got Steer, who's very good, and they got Hayes at third base defensively. Again, I know Kevin Elliott's going to argue with me in that he felt that the Reds no way belonged in the playoffs, but they did. But I said they were a playoff bound team, and I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. No matter how they got in, no matter that the Mets spit the bit, if you will, You
It's gonna
know,
be.
what do you think?
I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Will Cincinnati spend now that they made it? Again, Cleveland looked like they were going to fold. Now they made it. Are they going to spend now? These teams like that are the mid-sized teams that made the playoffs. Will this make a big winter for them now? Will they go for it? Because if they do, they'll be in contention for quite a while. They have a lot of reasonably priced players on that team. So you can spend now and not go overboard and make that team a heck of a ball club. You really can.
And now they're talking about potentially expanding the wild card spots
Hmm.
to bring in two more teams.
Wow.
Which I mean, you might as well, you might as well enter, your 16U Little League team into the MLB because they'll have the same shot as anybody else to make the playoffs.
Are we going to start handing out participation trophies?
It's absolutely baseball has been bastardized. Um, Rob Manfred, we all know how I feel about him, and I'm tired of screaming and yelling about Rob Manfred. I'm waiting till I think it's 2027 that he retires. I mean, you know, I volunteer to put him in a limo and drive him to wherever he wants to go tomorrow if he retires. I'd pay
Take
for
him.
the whole kit and caboodle.
You sounded like you were going to take him out, like Godfather style.
Well,
Take the cannolis.
I have to be careful what I say publicly because I'm on record saying that if he ever, God forbid, happened to go meet our Lord, that I'm the number one suspect.
Well, it's one of those things. He slipped, Your Honor.
Yeah, he slipped right into a vat of boiling oil.
He slipped right. He slipped right into a coma. We laid hands on him, and then afterwards we prayed.
Yeah, Harold. Rob Manfred hates baseball, man. This whole, I'm really having troubles with this automated strike zone nonsense. I mean, on one hand, the umpires have done it to themselves. Okay. On one hand. But on the other hand, how much more are you taking away from the ball players, from the umpires, from the managers? You got the no blocking second base. The player's got to has the right to the base, so you can't block the base with your legs, your feet, your body, whatever. You got to straddle the base, so that changes the way you receive the ball and pivot. Okay, the Posey rule, which is absolutely the most stupidest thing ever. I mean, in the history of baseball, you might have had 4 catastrophic collisions at home that ruined somebody's career. Okay, and they're the heaviest suited. Well, now if you look at some of these hitters, they look like they're from the medieval with all the freaking elbow guards and knee guards and shin guards and this guard. I mean, the only thing missing is God himself, for God's sakes.
I think I saw a pet guard the other night. The ones I can't stand are the pitch clock and the phantom runner at second base in the extra innings. Those two drive me nuts.
And the 2 disengagements, also ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you're playing cat and mouse with the guy on first. I can't remember who it was. Some guy threw over 5 times back in the day. 5 throws over in a row. And that's what you got to do. You can't give the runner an advantage and take away that from the pitcher, right? So accounting 101.
That's
You
correct.
credit column A, you debit column B, and it equals at the bottom. But they don't do that. And Pete, I think I told you this when we first started getting together. I said, and for those on Angie's Angles, you remember this 100%. So if a ghost runner's on second base and the batter drives them in, the runner gets a run scored, the batter gets an RBI, but it doesn't affect the pitcher's ERA.
That's so weird. That makes no sense.
0 cents.
The whole thing makes 0 sense to me. He has
I'd
just
be all right.
goofed up
Yeah.
this game.
I'd be all right if you didn't give the RBI or the run scored credit in the stat box if you're not going to charge the ERA to the pitcher. But he's the one that gave up the hit that scored the run. You can't have it on one side and not the other side.
This is true, buddy. I agree 100%. All right, so then let's wrap this up by saying, do we get both Alonso and Diaz back? Yes or no? Both back?
What do you want? You want
I
my
want
business answer? You're my hard answer.
I want your business answer. What I think what actually will happen.
I don't think Diaz comes back. I don't. I think Diaz is money hungry more than Pete, in my humble opinion. I think Diaz does not have the affection or the connection to Queens as Pete does. So I think if somebody throws Edwin Diaz the most money, that's where he goes, whoever it is.
Wow, what a gaping hole that would leave in our bullpen at that point, which is already, in my opinion, the weakest part of this team. Going forward, then you're going to have to go find some guys there. You still got to get a center fielder and a DH. Do you sign Schwarber or Tucker or Bellinger? Who are you looking to sign? Who's your final answer on that?
You know, it really depends on all the other moves, right? But
Hmm.
if we get ourselves a bona fide center fielder, whether it be Bellinger, if we tell Tucker we'll sign you, but you play center field, I wouldn't be opposed to getting Schwarber and making him your DH.
Yeah,
How can you say no to a 52 home run guy?
you can't.
You can't. You really can't. And maybe he becomes your leadoff hitter. Lindor drops to 2, Soto 3, Alonso 4, Vientos 5, Beatty 6, Alvarez 7th. Yeah, that's a long lineup.
You forgot your favorite,
No, oh no,
Nimmo.
Nemo. Yeah. Hashtag Nemo sucks. Kevin, for us to get Duran, we're gonna have to trade for him because he signed to a contract.
All right,
And then,
last question before we go to the prayers. Next year, I think internally is where you find second base. You got 4 internal candidates who can be that second baseman. I want one guy to get it. Who do you think winds up being the guy that can
I
push
think
themselves forward?
I think Beatty did. I mean,
You
there's no
really
doubt in
do?
my. Yeah, I did. What do you get? 20 home runs and 350 at bats. I mean, come on
Yeah.
now, come
So
on,
you,
and he can handle second base. Martin, Eric Schuster, Marte's done. They might bring him back as a coach, but he's not going to be a player. Not at all. 17 home runs. Thanks, Kevin Elliott. Beatty hit 17 home runs. Give me the at bats, Kev, if you don't mind, while we're doing the prayer circle. All right, Pete.
all right, buddy.
What's your opinion on Alonso? What's your number, Pete? You didn't give us a number.
I think it's going to be right there at about 250 also. It's 5 years, 250. They'll push a lot of it into a signing bonus so it doesn't average out to 50. But that's what it's going to wind up being. And I
Okay.
think it's with the Mets. I think they get both back. I think they get Diaz back also.
Okay. All right. Now, and Mark Brooks, you should be ecstatic. We're 3 minutes over. Oh, man. Oh, so what I professed last year, Pete, before you joined us, at this time last year, this is what I said. We go to Pete with our best number. Pete, this is it. You got 72 hours with you and Boris to tell us you're in, you're out. We're not moving off this number that we're presenting to you. Because we got to know before the GM meetings, before the winter meetings, we got to know what our team's looking like. And you got to know if you're going to have Alonso or not before we go into those meetings.
There's no doubt it hurt your maneuverability this winter that it took till the last second to get Alonso done this year. It
Right.
hurt.
It was awful because it hamstrung you to make other
Correct.
moves like you
You're
just said.
paralyzed. You can't do
Right.
anything until you know how you're going to spend that money.
That
So
is
you
correct.
can't spend that money. You can't spend the same money twice. And you're
Right.
talking about big dollars here. So it's going to be really interesting, man. It's going to be a wild winter. I think you're going to see a lot of movement, a lot of trades. You're going to see a lot of teams that can't afford guys who are just going to say, all right, I'm just going to start over. And you'll see big market teams giving out 5, 6, 7 players to get other teams stars. You're going to see a lot of that.
And I also think that if you offer Pete what you offer him, if he says yes, that sets you up for season ticket sales, that sets you up for jerseys sold. Nobody's going to buy an Alonso jersey not knowing if he's going to be a Met. You either have one already or you're going to wait to see who he signs with.
And if you get him back immediately, you need to start a campaign with like him and Soto together, like when the Stankies used to put Mantle and Mara. So this one and that one, you have to start putting those guys together and getting them out there in the public in all different ways.
Well, sadly, that doesn't happen anymore these days, Pete.
But
Anyway,
they should. They should be
no,
doing a
you're
lot more
not.
community work. They should be helping out in the area.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, our prayer circle somewhat delayed. Harold Sanderson, we're praying for Dawn Squared as always, your wife and co-worker. Carol and Bob, and Harold, your friend Jerry. Harold Atkins, we're praying for you guys down there in Alabama. Terry Sanchez, welcome back from your vacay. We're praying for your mom's legs and keeping your mother-in-law and your uncle's memories alive. Antoinette Brooks, I'm hearing that your hubby is qualified and is going through the process of donating one of his kidneys. And Mark Brooks, there are heroes and then there's unheralded heroes, and you, sir, are a hero. Even for considering this. Scott Tobias, we're praying for your wife and your mom. Clark, we're praying for Brad and Trisha. Linda Stein, young lady, we're praying for yourself, your hand, your housing situation. We're praying for your dad. Kevin Elliott, continuing health challenges, and a little bit mental too, buddy. And that's just a little dig. Kraus family, we're praying that Aubrey remains in remission. Deb and Lee down in Maryland. Marianne Bello, my good friend from high school, praying for your mom, young lady. Larry Levy, as your wife Rita remains in remission with the cancer. Mr. McGowan, your continuous successes. Ralph here at the Smoke Therapy Lounge, we're praying for you, my friend. We're praying for Pete and Shani again as they welcomed, grandson.
Yeah. Luca Francis.
There you go, Luca Francis.
Mhm.
A little Irish Italian name right there.
Yeah.
Good for you guys. We're praying for you guys. Tom still recovering from severe pneumonia. He has yet to pick up a cigar. Maybe next week, he said. Big John, Smoke Therapy, we're praying for your leg injury. Joe Echevarria, we're praying for your heart condition, my friend. My friend here, PG in the lounge, prayers for his friend who passed. West Coast, Dave Prince, we're praying that your current situation down there in Florida gets better with your medical condition. I want to throw out, yes, it's really not a prayer, but it is Bob's birthday. My honey was yesterday, ripe old age of 57, nice and young. You could call me a cradle robber. We celebrated in grand fashion coming back from Ocean City, Maryland. And I went out line dancing with Barb last night to keep her company on her birthday. So many, many more birthdays for you, Barbara.
Happy birthday, Bob.
Thank you. Pete, you got anybody you want to throw on?
My buddy Cole needs some prayers, and just all of us here, this whole country, we need prayers as a world. We need prayers.
And let's hope that this peace agreement between Israel and Palestine and the Hamas, everybody lives up to their end of the deal. Amen to that. Amen to that. Right. So join us next week where I'll be solo, but we'll get the temperature on the free agent. We'll discuss the playoffs a little bit more. I'm not really sure if the Phillies are still beating the Dodgers. They were 1-0. So we're rooting for the Dodgers, at least here in Angie World. Can't have the Phillies win. That's not, it'll be a double decker if they lose tonight. So that'd be the Skankies gone and the Phillies gone. So let's see what happens with that. This has been Angie's Angles, come to you live from Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. If you're ever in the neighborhood, cigars on me. I want to thank my good friend, my co-host, Pete O'Shea, always bringing some commentary to the show, and we appreciate you, Pete.
I appreciate you too, buddy. God bless everybody. Thanks for watching.
Good night. God bless. Love you.